Hello and welcome. My name is Dylan, and today we're going to be doing a quest guide for the Should You Choose to Accept It Part 2 quest for the exotic catalyst for the Revision 0. So step 1 asks us to go to the Diceles Annex and download the cryptographic index. So let's go to our destinations. We'll go to the Helm, and in the Helm we're going to go over to the far right hand side just under the exotic quest, and we're going to go back to the Warmind launch facility. So this time we are going to make our way to the right side. So next here we're going to go up these rocks like we have in previous weeks. So I'm simply just going to run forward this way, and I'm going to jump up here, and we'll jump up to the next one here. We just have to hide in time from the tower. Take out this knight, continue up top here. Probably going to be some more enemies. We'll hide on the right hand side. We can crouch behind these little boxes as well if we need to. And let's continue into the facility. Nice and easy underneath the laser. Up on the boxes here and over the laser. And then we're just going to jump over these ones. And then we're going to jump down this chute here and continue forward. In this room, we just have to defeat a couple of the enemies, and then a Hive Witch will spawn, and we need to defeat the Hive Witch as well, and then we can shoot the lasers. So the Hive Witch is about to spawn. So we'll just take her out, and now we can shoot these lasers, easy peasy, and we can continue forward. The same thing in this room. Defeat the enemies, defeat the witch, and then defeat the crystals. So right after we clear that room, we can use a rally banner here if you need to. And it is going to be a fight in this next room, so definitely be ready for that. Take out the Shrieker right away. And then we will just use this pillar. And we can take out the rest of the enemies here and get down the boss health. And once you have defeated everything, simply download the cipher and we should be good to go. Mission completed. So I missed it because I did it too quickly, but Should you choose to accept it, part 2, quest step number 2 is simply to travel to the moon. And like 5 seconds after you decide to travel to the moon, it is actually going to progress to the next step. So we just need to complete patrols and defeat combatants on the moon. Alright, so you definitely don't even have to do a patrol at all on the moon, because if you just do like one tier of this activity, like I just killed a bunch of stuff, I just did one tier solo, and I was able to just complete the quest up, and now we move on to the next one. So step 4 is to locate the dead drop in the K1 Logistics Lost Sector of the Archer's Line. So you want to open up your map and fast travel back to Sanctuary. We're then going to head over to the left, and K1 Logistics is all the way over here on the left, or you can just follow along with me while I go there on my Sparrow.
Fire Team Alpha!
In this lost sector, to get the barriers down to the next sections, you just have to take out all of the enemies in the previous sections and continue forward. When you get to the boss room and the boss has a shield, simply wait for the enemies to come in on a ship and then take them all out. Three, two, one. After you take out the first group of enemies, a second group will spawn. You simply destroy the enemies that are right beside the boss, and then you can damage the boss because the force field will be gone. After the boss is defeated, you can collect your loot if you want. Then you just continue forward here, and we're going to enter the cipher, and we're going to back away this week, and I'm not going to get blown up when it self-destructs. There is also one of these yellow orbs that we need to shoot with our pulse rifle. So make sure you shoot that before you leave, or you'll have to do this lost sector over again at a later time. Here we go again. So for should you choose to accept it, part 2, step 5 asks you to do the launch Operation Seraph Shield on Legend difficulty and find the weapon schematic. So again, we will need to run it on Legend difficulty to get this version of the catalyst. Now, it should be noted that I ran it on Legend difficulty without too many troubles, and then I tried to help another person run it on Legend who needed some help with the PvE aspect, and it was actually extremely difficult. The damage multiplier, I don't know what it is this season, so it's plus 10 where you're at when you're solo, but I don't know what the damage multiplier is. It seems a little crazy when you're trying to do it with someone else. So if you're having difficulties trying to do it with one friend or two friends, maybe just try to do it solo. There's no time limit. You can take as long as you need. You can take as many tries as you need. But it is overall a lot easier to do this Operation Seraph Shield Legend on solo than it is to do it with other people. So if you need help with any of the traps or anything, I will put that on screen now, but otherwise I'm going to go do an Operation Seraph Shield on Legend. And again, just in case anybody missed it, to launch it on Legend, we'll simply go to the helm, we'll launch the Operation Seraph Shield, then we'll change the difficulty here, so we'll click on normal, and we will change it to the Legend difficulty, and good luck everybody. If you're having difficulty with this turret room, you can simply take out the turret on the middle there and the right or the left, and then you can run into the room itself and use this like middle pillar as cover, and then you can fight these other turrets as needed. for the second level here, you can jump up and then you can kind of use these pillars as well. So you can jump up and then you can play around the backside here so that you can use this pillar so that only one of the turrets can see you. And then you'll fight that turret and then you can fight the turret up top afterwards. Comes to this room here, you can actually skip most of the combat in this room if you're confident with your ability to do the puzzle. Pull out our heavy weapon and take out this turret. And once we do that, we're going to make sure that we come back up here. Once that turret is removed, we can simply hit this scanner augment and we can go straight into the puzzle room. So all I'm going to do, see, you have to do it quickly once you start, or they all position in a way where they can shoot you. But I'm going to grab the scanner. So for me, it is 1, 3, 1. All right, so I'm going to just run into this section here. And once I get through this door, they cannot follow me. We're going to crouch under the laser. All right, so we were 1. We have to go forward here. Jump over this. We were 1, 3. And then 1. And we should be good to go. And once we get to the end here, we upload the virus. And we should receive our catalyst. No. 3, 2, 1. All right, well, I forgot how it worked from last week, and definitely make sure that you do not make the same mistake that I did, because I just completed the Operation Seraph Shield on Legend, but I didn't pick up the weapon schematic. So let's go do the thing all over again and get the weapon schematic. All right, so to make sure that you guys actually get the thing we're supposed to collect while we're in the Legend Seraph's Shield, and you don't make the same mistake that I did, when you get to this room here where you have the Operator Augment, and you have these 2 little rooms here where the Cursed Thralls spawn, we're going to go past here, where into the room where we're going to shoot into this area here and get this. So we go into the little ducts here. And over here are the air vents, I guess would be called more commonly. So we're going to go over here to the left. And we see this dead exo, which we can then activate. And now we have to complete the mission on Legend difficulty after you pick that up. So if you don't pick that up during the mission, so you'll waste like 40 minutes or 50 minutes like I just did, and you'll have to come back to this area and pick that up from the vent and then complete the mission. So at this point, I've swapped my weapons out because I'm going for more long-range stuff. I'm going to use an arc scout because there's arc shields out like when we're doing the spacewalk on the nights, and I want to be able to shoot them from far away. So our goal in this section here is to simply go through and get as much ammo as we can. I didn't realize that this guy was right here. Almost died. So it's to go through and get as much ammo as we can in this section for our special and our heavy. So we're not going to use, you know, our special or our heavy if we don't have to. Okay, so for this section here, we're going to play it as slow as possible outside, and we're going to see if we can start to damage these knights all the way from over here. Simply because then we don't have to deal with the knights and all of the snipers that are going to spawn. So even if this takes a little bit of extra time here, we can just go through and just chip away at these knights. Okay, so once we've done that, we're going to get rid of these here on the platform. Now, when we jump across to this platform here, right to our right is our only safe haven. So if we go just over this to our right, then we can kind of get a little bit of cover here. But we're just going to immediately shoot these shanks as soon as we can. And I assure you, if you don't have a long-range weapon, it's going to be very, very difficult, and this part is going to suck. And then if you run up here, these knights will just immediately start blasting. So, super nice to take them out from long range. We're going to play slow again here in this section. We're actually going to go over here to the left, because if we do this, then we get an angle over here, and we can kind of get some cover from these shanks. Now you can see that I didn't realize that there was a knight there, so this knight is now shooting at me, and these things do hurt. So I am just gonna get a position here to take out the knight or some of these shanks, whatever I can see. I guess I can't shoot through the bottom there, but let's go through and take out these guys because they are long range, and then we will deal with the knight himself. Okay, the knight is taken care of. Now we can just headshot this guy a few times. Okay, so one thing we have to be aware of here is when we shoot these, we'll shoot this one, we'll shoot this one. We have to be aware of these exploder shanks over on the left-hand side over here. Perfect. We dealt with those pretty easily. I don't see any more visible enemies. Let's go through and shoot that. And now we just do our best to jump across here without dying. Alright, so it turns out that there's a couple of shanks up here that are going to ambush you, but if you get up here and you shoot them right away, then you should be okay, as long as you have a scout rifle or a sniper or something, or linear with enough ammo to take out, I think, 6 of these snipers. So here you can make a choice. You can either swap back to the closer range weapons that you're comfortable with, or you can just go through and complete this section here with your longer range weapons. You can take out some of the enemies from the outside before you even get in, and then we can continue forward here. And we don't need to worry about using up our ammo at all here, because we will get it all back, or we'll get new ammo for new weapons once we hit this brick here. Now just be aware that as soon as you step through this door, you're going to be in a boss fight, and he does like to get up close, so definitely go through and take your time with this next section and try to stay away from him as best you can. so I completely forgot to speak there, but definitely make sure that once you grab the operator augment, that as soon as you grab it and this door opens in front of you, hide yourself from this turret, and then just look behind you to this door and take out the exploder shanks that will kill you if you don't. Okay, so for soloing this fight on Legend, the choice of weapons is kind of up to you, although you should have something that's good at ad clear. So for me, I prefer the Osteostriga SMG or the Wither Horde grenade launcher, but you could use something like a legendary grenade launcher or whatever as well. If you use the mini tool or something with incandescence on it, you could do that as well, because that does clear ads pretty well. Now, as far as where you should stand, my recommendation is to stand up in this area here, because the enemies can't get up here. Now, things that you have to be careful for are enemies throwing the grenades up here, of course, but also there is, after you get his health down, there are a couple of vandals that spawn up top here, and they do have snipers. So those do a significant amount of damage, so you have to watch out for those, but the actual, like, general enemies can't get over here and they can't jump up here. Now, once you get his health down, there is a bigger enemy that's going to spawn up here as well. So my recommendation is that you obviously kill that enemy first, you hard focus it once it spawns, and then you can, you know, figure out how you want to take this fight. Obviously, these nades here hurt a lot, the void nades, and you can see that they are chucking them in from a lot of different angles here. So if you're a hunter, then having Worm Husk will definitely help, because it'll help you get some health back for sure. And if you're a Titan, then if you have a Void class where you can get shields, and if you're a Warlock, if you have, you know, your Healing Rift on, obviously not your Empowering Rift. Now, you could use a Scout Rifle if you're using Wither Horde or something like that. Okay, so we see that the enemies spawn here. So this guy's going to spawn up here with us. So we're just going to kill him quickly. It's really, really easy for me because he's void. So we see the suppression. This is the other sniper. So let's kill him first. And we see the suppression guy all the way over here. So let's take out the suppression guy. Now we're just going to run over here and pick up the suppression. This is where the ad clear weapon comes in handy, because you can just annihilate all of these enemies pretty easily. Now, you want to make sure before you're going and standing on the points, again, those grenades hurt, before you're going and standing on the points to shoot with the suppressor, you want to make sure that you take out whatever enemy is on there. So you see that this guy has a purple shield, the chieftain here, we want to take him out, and I already took out the other one over here on this section. So we're just going to take a couple of shots. Then we go to the next section. If the chieftain is here, he can do a pretty significant amount of damage to you pretty quickly. And then we get back up top here and we do the last one. So once you hit the last one there, you can actually wait before you go through and destroy these mines that are going to be around the area. So one there, one underneath here, and one on the far side. You can destroy a couple of enemies first to give yourself some breathing room. Or if you have the nice, easy ad clear weapon like I do, then you can just push forward and go ahead and get these mines destroyed. Obviously, playing your life. If you take damage, if you need to hide somewhere, you can. Make sure that you have your utility available before you leave the safety of the up top area over there. So we just have the last one in the middle here to take care of. And then I'm going to immediately retreat back up top. Okay, now we're back up top to the safety of this little barricade here. You can destroy some of these little guys if you want, so that they don't do so much grenade damage to you. There, right there, that was a void nade, so we have to be really careful of that. And I do have a bunch of heavy bricks on the ground, so I am going to go through and use some heavy here on the boss. Now, you will get frozen if you stay in this for too long, but the DPS kind of outweighs it if you're in a safe position. So you can just chill up there. And now he is directly underneath us, so we're going to rotate over on top of these. And we're going to go ahead and keep shooting him here. Okay, so if you're on top there, like I just was, and you get hit with the ice thing, when you jump off, you actually won't be able to jump anywhere. So a smarter thing to do would be to be up here and just go back out of the ice, and then you could retreat over here to the side if you did need to. You can see that they are throwing quite a lot of stuff at me here, but he is back in front of us here. So I'm just going to pull out my heavy, because I do have those heavy bricks that I can pick up after I go through and do this next section here. So let's get him down, and then let's get ready to fight the guy that's going to spawn on top of us here. Reload our heavy, get our health back. Don't want to play it too crazy here, because just like you can see, these guys are whipping nades up here like crazy. So when you get a chance, just go ahead and clear them out. I think the boss, okay, so he's in the middle over there. So we can go through and get him down here. We're going to get ready for the spawn on top of us. We take this guy out. Perfect. Now we're going to take out these two snipers. One of them happens to be the suppressor. Take out this guy first, and then we can target the guy at the back second. We can do a little bit of ad clear here, or we can focus on the chieftain in the middle, because this guy will cause us some trouble if we don't kill him. Now we can do a little bit of ad clear here if we do need to. Again, if things get a little crazy, you can just go back up top. I'm just taking out all these ads because when enemies die to the poison from my weapon, it reloads my weapon past normal capacity. So it just allows me to have some safety rounds in here if I need them. So let's push over here and grab the suppressor. Again, get ready to take out all of these enemies and watch out for the nades there. And we're going to take these guys out, hit the suppressor here. We'll take out a few more. And we're just going to tap the boss a little bit. So my weapon here actually doesn't reach the boss on that angle from here. So we're just going to use a couple of bullets that we have in our heavy here. Then we're going to rotate to the middle. Be careful that when you do shoot them, more enemies will spawn when you do hit the suppressor. So all those guys in the middle just spawned in. We can very quickly take care of them if we did want to, or we can just shoot the enemy and get on to the next section here. So we'll take out this mine here because it's right beside us. We can actually get an angle if you have a particular type of weapon. If you have a longer range weapon, you can get an angle from there to take out this mine, or from here if you have, you know, like a longer range weapon like what I was talking about. This particular weapon, I don't specifically need to aim it, so I can just shoot it from underneath. It does take a little longer, but it's safer. We got frozen. We can simply back up here out of the freeze and run to the safety of this barricade here. So I didn't completely take out the one in the middle. Let's grab this heavy ammo. I guess I should mention, just I haven't needed it, but just in case you guys do, if you're using your heavy a lot, like I probably should be, then you do have this this little crate here, which will replenish your heavy ammo and your special ammo as well. So make sure to take advantage of that if you do need it. So we're going to take out the last mine over here on the left-hand side. And to do the boss damage, we're going to go back to our safety spot on the far side. Now, the reason that we don't do it here is because the enemies can actually rush you here. And if you get distracted, they will slap you up pretty good, and they can kill you pretty easily if it's like in combination with a nade or something. So we're up top in this section here, and now we're just going to start doing damage to the boss. So for your heavy, you might not want to use a machine gun like I am. The specific reason that I'm using it is just to level this weapon, because it is the new seasonal machine gun. It does have pretty good damage if you're up close, but from range the recoil is a little bit annoying. But I'm just gonna go ahead and spam it a bit here. Now the enemies did spawn behind us over here, so we're gonna get rid of these guys because they can hit us with some pretty sneaky nades. These guys in front and the guys on the far side we're not too worried about. He came a lot closer now, so it's a lot easier for us to use our nades and stuff. Although I did hit the barricade there. Alright, so he is directly underneath us. So we're just going to do some damage here while he's here. If he goes fully underneath, then we're going to take out this chieftain behind us here. So we'll take out this tarnished chieftain. We will take out these guys as well, because they are very annoying. Take out the tarnished chieftain. Having something with void damage or a void super is very useful here. This is actually the perfect spot for him to be, because I can just spam him with my SMG here. Now for me, I can use the bubble to get some more damage and also an extra nade that I can use here. So I'll use my barricade to get my recharges back faster. And then we'll just spam him out here with my SMG. Now, you will notice that I was probably wasting the fact that I had this as my special. And running it again, I might swap it, because this is the first time that I've done it like completely controlled up here in this top section, which is by far the best way to kill this boss and to get through this encounter. First of all, without dying, so you can complete it on Legend. But second of all, without dying, so you can just complete it at all. So I would swap this out for something else, maybe something longer range. So thinking about it, I think I might actually swap it out for some kind of a sniper. And that way I can do, you know, pretty good damage on the boss from long range. But it completely depends on what add clear weapon you are using and in what slot. So for me, my add clear weapon is the poison damage from this SMG. But if you were to use something like the Wither Horde for the add clear, so like when they all rush you, you can just put a Wither on the floor and they'll all just run into the Wither while they try to hit you. If you're doing that, then you obviously wouldn't use a sniper in this second slot here. You would use something like a scout rifle to go through and do the boss damage from a distance, and then you would swap back to your Wither for the add clear. And that's it. That's basically just the easiest way that I could find to do the boss. Obviously, the combination of weapons and super and subclass that you're using on your particular character, so Hunter, Titan, or Warlock, you can, you know, adjust if you need to. But using that top platform up there provides you with way more safety than if you do it on this side. Because if the boss is right here and you're fighting the boss here, all of the enemies will run around to these stairs and run up the side here. So if you get distracted for a second, or you're trying to do a combo with your grenade, you know, your melee, if it's a throwable, you know, you're trying to get a lot of damage in with your heavy, then if you don't look to the right and shoot them as they come up here, then they will actually just come up behind you and destroy you. And also, when you're distracted over here trying to stop them from coming up, because at some points there will be a lot of enemies, then when you look back here, if you don't look back, you might get hit by a couple of those void nades, or get hit by the frozen from the boss and a void nade at the same time, which will basically mean that you will die. So if you guys have any questions down below about, you know, what particular weapon you're using, what I would recommend as a secondary or something like that, feel free to leave those in the comments. And I'm sure other people in the comments will leave suggestions about weapons that they used and stuff to complete this encounter easier on Legendary. But yeah, this platform here is your best friend. Make sure that you're using that platform. Okay, so now that we actually completed this mission correctly, we've gone through, we've completed the mission. That was the final step there. And we have gotten ourselves the catalyst. So if we go over to reshape, we go down to pulse rifles and we select revision 0. And then from here, we look at the Hunter's Trace. So we now have the ability here to equip Hunter's Trace 3. So now that means that we can go through here and select these different perk options, the regular perk options for the pulse rifle. And then if we go through to this last section here, which is where the catalysts are, this is where we just did the mission and we unlocked improved stability and accuracy as the magazine gets lower. So I'm going to toss on perpetual motion. I'm going to recraft my weapon, and that's it. So anyways, guys, I hope this guide helped. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, everybody.